Want to avoid the hassle and cost of probate in Florida? Hi, I'm attorney Kellen Bryant, board certified elder law attorney who's helped 7,000 families over the last 15 years with estate matters, including avoid probate. And I want to show you easy ways to avoid probate, keep your estate out of court, avoid legal fees, and to protect your loved ones. So now let's get into it. First question I want to answer is why even avoid probate? I have a video on the probate process if you want to learn more. After watching that video, if you say, I don't want any part of that, then you need to know how to avoid probate. It's because you have to pay attorney's fees, additional time, and there is a loss of privacy. When you go to the probate court, your private affairs, your financials, your family are now in the public record along with your wishes and your will. So avoiding probate avoids all that cost and privacy issues. So the key concept to avoid probate, it's all about not passing away with an asset held in your name only. So how do we prevent an asset from being held in your name only? You name a joint owner, you name a POD, also known as pay in death. That applies to banks. You name a transfer in death, also known as TOD. That applies to brokerage houses. You have names on your deeds. Most commonly is a ladybird deed. Also, you can put your assets and have it owned by your living trust. Those are the most common ways to avoid probate. Concept of individual assets only going through probate is pretty easy to understand, but there are little nuances that stop that from happening. First, wrongful death lawsuit. Next are usually mistakes or failure to do additional planning. So an example would be a married couple, one spouse passed away, surviving spouse does nothing, doesn't see an estate planning attorney, and does nothing with the house, and then that spouse passes away, and that spouse will require probate of their estate. Our other real estate assets, and also businesses. A lot of people who own business don't have their business titled correctly to avoid probate, and that is a very expensive probate. Now, let me explain tips on how to make sure this is done right. Now, if you're looking to avoid probate and save on legal fees, then you're gonna have to do so through how your accounts are set up and getting beneficiaries on those accounts. Now, a lot of people that I see think they've avoided probate, think they did everything right, but when you look at it, they didn't do everything right. So what you have to do is if you want to avoid probate, you need to take all your bank statements and first look at the address label. When there's an account that is jointly owned, two names should be appearing on that address label right where your names go, and then the address is right below. It's in that little window of the envelope. If there's not two names on there, it may be held in one name only. But now, if there's a beneficiary on there, some accounts will not say TOD or POD on it, some do. And some accounts, or life insurance policies, won't have any indicator of who the beneficiaries are on the envelope. Your next level to make sure you've done this right is to actually call these companies and say, can you send me information about my beneficiaries so I can have it on my finals? And when should you do this not to mess anything up? Every year. You should go down the list and should look on every single account number that you own. One mistake that I commonly see is somebody going to the bank and saying, put a beneficiary in all my accounts, and the banker only does it of 2 or 4. Or you say, put a beneficiary in all my accounts, and the banker puts them on all 4, but then you go 3 weeks later to another branch and you forget to put the beneficiary in their account. So what you need to do is every year, you need to look at all your statements and all your account numbers and see, do you have a beneficiary on that account? Usually I recommend doing this when you file your taxes, and you should also keep a spreadsheet or some sort of ledger on all your accounts, all your account numbers, and how each account is held. The last tip I want to give you is to communicate well to your beneficiaries. So a lot of times people get confused about what people want with accounts and what people have happen to their money. And if it's unclear, that's where family problems occur. If you're hearing this video and you're saying, I got way too much going on, then you got a living trust that you may want to look at, because living trust, although they don't avoid attorneys, they do help reduce problems after you pass away, because living trust coordinate your estate much better and provide contingencies, and generally will require less maintenance on the account side, although it may require more maintenance on the legal work side. If a living trust sounds interesting to you, go ahead and watch my next video on a living trust in 5 minutes.